When is a hero's adventure over? Is it when he saves the princess or defeats the dragon? Perhaps it's when he finally falls in battle at the feet of his enemies. What if it's never over? Well, that's the approach taken in Next Up Hero, and it proves that even when you fall, the best thing you can do is get back up and try again. Next Up Hero is a roguelike action game from Digital Continue. It's currently available in early access form on Valve's Steam store, and in this adventure, you'll be picking from a handful of heroes, each with their own arsenal of weaponry, and battling it out against armies of robots and monsters. However, you won't be fighting this battle alone. You'll be teaming up with those that have fallen in battle before you, including yourself, if that makes any sense. The game allows you to resurrect the spirits of those heroes that died on the battlefield, and they will assist you in battle. The stronger you become, the more heroes you can resurrect, eventually giving you a seemingly unstoppable army. It's a very cool concept that works out really well and makes progressing through the levels and facing off against the giant bosses far more enjoyable than flying solo. The levels and adventures are also seemingly endless. That's because each one is procedurally generated by the developer or other players. You never have to experience the same level twice unless you choose to. There are always dozens to choose from. They can all vary from their setting to the number or type of monsters you see in them, and even include special variations such as a darkening of the game world, making it impossible to see what awaits for you in the distance. There are numerous characters to choose from, each with their own unique playstyle. Some are up close and personal sword bearers, while others may be equipped to attack from a distance with a pair of guns, a bow and arrow, or even explosives. Unfortunately, they all seem to be about the same in terms of power, so there really doesn't feel to be much of an advantage to choose from one over another. You would usually expect there to be some strength variations depending on their weapons and skill sets, but it really doesn't feel like that here. It all comes down to who you like in terms of their look and the feel of their weapons. Gameplay wise, it plays out like a twin stick shooter, which is a surefire way to my heart personally. I love games where you can roll around the battlefield in each and every direction while aiming and shooting in another. That's exactly what you get to do here. In addition to your primary and secondary attacks, you have a selection of specialty attacks that you can collect and use as well. These come from collecting tokens, which are dropped by enemies occasionally during battle. This is in addition to the coins dropped by fallen enemies, which you can also use to purchase additional characters and colors for the playable roster. Next Up Hero is a great idea, and the structure is there for a great game, but at this time it really lacks the drive to keep players going. Aside from the procedurally generated levels, there really isn't much of a story or game to play through. The story mode just gives you an occasional cutscene with dialogue between two characters, every couple of stages you choose. Given how colorful and great the character design in the game is, I would have loved to see the heroes given a lot more substance and background. Who are these heroes? Where did they come from? What are they truly fighting for? I want to see a good main course of a story campaign, and then give me the endless supply of desserts with the player-created levels and missions. I'm not worried though, as this game is still in early access, so there is still time for it to be fleshed out before it makes an official launch. What's here currently is a fun and colorful adventure that you can pick up and play for either a few minutes at a time or for extended play periods. That is the type of game that keeps you coming back, even if it's just for the sake of collecting one more coin or power. It's also a very family-friendly adventure that can be enjoyed by players of all ages. This is one game that I will certainly be keeping an eye on as it moves forward in its early access development. In its current form, I'm giving Next Up Hero a 7.5 out of 10.